I previously showed you guys how to build a dam. That video was quite a while ago, but then I saw a comment recently that said, yes, but how do you unbuild a dam? Alright, so if you're not an insane person, then what you're going to do is you're going to make a little diversion coming at the side of your reservoir. Now you can put this, you want to put it close to the dam as you possibly can, because the deepest water is going to be right next to your dam, and you want to drain it from the deepest point. So basically it's going to dig out a little culvert or cut or whatever you want to call it and drain extra water down the river. Now this will increase the flow of the water in your river no matter what you do, right? So there will be a little bit of flooding, but compared to blowing up the whole dam, it's a lot better. All right, so kind of a general guideline for what you can expect to actually drain the reservoir at a reasonable rate, it would be pretty much just to double the flow of your river below you. Alright, so we've reached the point to where the dam is no longer functioning because the water level has dropped below the threshold, and so now what you need to do is turn it off because you're wasting $3,200 a week if you keep it on. So you're not going to actually lower the level of your reservoir until your diversion is bigger than the flow of the river. You're going to need to keep lowering and making this gap bigger and bigger and deeper, because until you have your dam completely gone, that's just how it's going to be. Alright guys, so our reservoir has drained to the point that we can actually delete it, because basically once the reservoir drops and it stops dropping, you have reached the flow level of the river, and so by deleting the dam you're not going to have any ill effects. So the problem with this method is that you're going to be spending a ton of money and time building and digging this hole. However, it is the safest way to do it because I've pretty much been dumping this water out over time. Because even if you spread out the water flow over, let's say, 10-15 minutes, instead of an instant wave, it's going to be completely different. So it might be worth your time just to spend that 10 or 15 minutes and however much money it's going to cost to make that diversion around your dam. However, remember that once you're done, you're going to have to refill in this hole that you just made, which is yet again more money and more time spent getting rid of your dam. I will say that this method, because it's so safe, has resulted in zero flooding. Well, I say zero. This road got flooded. This useless road got flooded, and that's it. That is very, very good for just how much water I dumped into the river. Alright guys, so I've showed you the first way to do this. The second way, and a way that I would actually do, if I wasn't super careful about the city beneath, is to pretty much build a dam out of earth in front of your dam, right? This may not be feasible if you are, if you have a massive dam, right? So look, this is what you build. You might want to build it a little bit bigger, but this general shape is exactly what you want to build, because basically you're just going to go in and you're going to delete your dam. Very scary. However, this is going to keep the water from coming out at such a rate that it's going to destroy everything. It will be very rapid and you'll get minor flooding. However, versus having just a raw pop the dam, let it go, this is a very quick, cheap way to do it with minimal damage and minimal time spent dealing with a diversion ditch and kind of monitoring that and everything. This is just the simplest, quickest way to do it. Now the speed at which your reservoir empties, it really depends on, you know, how big your reservoir is, you know, how much water is flowing into your river, how much are you willing to dump at one time, etc., etc. So see, we do have this initial wave, which will probably cause some flooding, but this right here will allow us to drain at our own, at a reasonable pace, and we don't really have to monitor it. We can just leave it, maybe have a nice waterfall. You'll see over time this is going to keep dropping more and more and more, and if we need to drop it faster, you can always come in with your earth moving tools and you can just open it up a little bit. There you go. And like that, the water level drops even more. It's magical. It really is. So you can see the river has now reached equilibrium. The flow is consistent and calm. However, the flooding is at its peak in my city, and the flooding is minor at best. It is a traffic nuisance. Yeah. No destruction. I mean, there is quite a bit of water coming down the river, but this is completely manageable. And that's the difference between letting all the water loose at once. Yeah. Boom! and letting the water loose over about the course of a minute. It's a completely different kind of effect on the water. It's more like having a high flow for a while, and especially if you have flat terrain like this, the water's going to really spread itself out over the terrain, softening the blow. Now, if your city is in the bottom of a ravine right south of the river, the flooding may be pretty bad. You'll just kind of have to, work with this on your own. But I think I showed you the three main methods of removing a dam. The first one is just blow up the dam and deal with the damage. Number 2 is making a diversion ditch and slowly lowering the level of the reservoir over time. And number 3 is building a earthen dam behind your dam and allowing that to act as your secondary dam. While you delete your first dam, it will slowly let the water out at a controlled rate, which will keep your city from having massive, devastating floods. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please tune in next time for some more tutorials. So if you have any ideas for tutorials or anything you want to see, please comment below and tell me what you want to see. See y'all next time.